Hey, hope everyone's doing well. All right, I'm gonna post this video on Safemoon. Um, I got into crypto about about a year ago. There has been much profit I've made off of coins, and there is still a lot to learn. I did have to suffer a bit to learn a bunch about, crypto, just like investing. Sometimes you get burned, but the thing about crypto is that it's way more volatile. So like you can literally the volatility is like you can lose everything in like a second, like like in minutes. Pump and dumps, all these things are extremely unregulated, especially the new coins that are usually listed on decentralized exchanges like, DeFi, DEX tools, Pancake Swap, all of that. And it's definitely been an experience, and I enjoy it. It's been a learning experience for me. And I was one of the people who came into Safemoon, I'd say March, or not March. I came into Safemoon after it did that spike and the articles were going out, right? I can't give you the time, but I left within like a month or two because things seemed a bit weird. Safemoon did do a whole bunch of hype. There's so many different coins where people throw out the idea of FUD, throw out FUD, misinformation and things to try and prevent people from actually like investing in the coin because they don't trust it. But for Safemoon, of course there were so many people who don't believe in it. The idea was a lot of people were calling it BitConnect or something, where the idea was, it was a pump and dump scheme. People were under the impression that it was a pump and dump scheme, but the pump and dump is like a long pump and dump, right? It's a slow form of a rug pull. So a rug pull is basically a pump and dump. Basically, the price is spiked and it never gets back to the highest point it ever got to, and depending on your positions in the fluctuations of the price, even during a rug pull or like fluctuations, eventually the people who were the whales, they all sell at different points in time, and the people who end up holding the coin are the people who don't really have much that would cause sharp inflection points in the coin, which would in turn impact the price, which would impact the quality of the coin. Because usually I never really cared about like the burn rate or any of these things because I had a different strategy when it came into these coins. And to be honest, the partial idea was I was going to sell. I'm not going to like I guess I'll go into that later, but I had my own plans. People threw the idea that, regardless of all the PR and all the stuff you were doing, the idea is, even if you deal with these slow drops in the price, which many coins deal with that, but the resilience and the success of many coins relies on good information, good products, and people believing in a coin to get to where it's at. Safemoon and Dogecoin aren't the same, right? Safemoon and Bitcoin aren't the same. Many coins, they have to go through this process of being under the stress and the issues that come with hundreds of coins, dozens of coins that are released, daily on Pancake Swap. It's like so many. Many coins you're going to have to go to the test. Bitcoin went through its journey for years. And the idea is, if part of the issue is you want to be informed enough to be aware of certain red flags that will prevent you from falling victim to some of these other rug pulls or pump and dumps or something that looks like it's going to be Bitcoin, but it's really not. Pertaining to Safemoon, recently, I guess a few developers have like dropped off. They like left. COO, CTO, all this. I ended up putting money in, I'm not going to say how much, but I put in a chunk of money into Safemoon after it did its major spike, and it happened over months, right? The idea was when the article had come out, basically if you had put in like 1,000 at the beginning of the year, your worth would have been like $8 million in the coin when it spiked. And that's when a lot of people went in it. But it was after a sharp inflection point and a lot of people sold. So that was the opportunity for there to be a rally with like a 50% jump. And the idea of the rug pull is like a rug, right? Like if you were to, if you were to like flick a rug, right? Like it like undulates, right? It's like a sine wave that has decay, right? Like the longer the tail of the coin, like that's the lowest point it gets to. So when it's moving up and down, when there's news and there's a rally, it never gets to that point. So the high, there's never like a new high. There are lower highs until the coin is completely worthless. People, you see sharper like inflection points for like to notice that it's a rug pull when it's the less elaborate coins, right? But Dogecoin has dealt with major changes. Like there's some analysis that you can do to figure out which coins have a higher probability of being rug pulls and pump and dumps, and some are blatantly obvious, but some are very good at hiding it. Safemoon went through a period where it was major news where people were like, be careful on this coin, blah, blah, blah. That didn't lead me to stop investing in Safemoon. That didn't stop me from investing in Safemoon. What stopped me from investing in Safemoon was the leadership, was the team. One of the things that so me working administratively or like working like in for like a business, like just as a secretary fucking job. One of the things you want to be aware of is like if you ever try to run a business or anything, presentation is really important. Having a plan, having all of these things in place, these are really important. The thing with Safemoon is like, it seemed like they were making more, to me, it seemed very unprofessional because it seemed like Safemoon was always making an effort to put people in positions who don't really have the skill set to do what they're supposed to do. I don't fall victim to I'll fall victim to it a little bit, media or like hyperbole. But once I do my research, then I'll determine, I want to see how good the team is and all of that. And professionalism and all of these things were,
maybe show me 111. Where is this 110?
111 East to 10. It's that way. You see the building there? Yeah, that stop sign is across the street.
This is 10.
This is 210th Street, but 111 East 210th is across the street there. Yeah, where all those people are across the street. I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. So there was unprofessionalism that came from Safemoon. Messages, tweets. If you check, I'm sorry, this was a minuscule for me, but there was so many grammar problems that I saw from all of these people in leadership. And even when they tried to make announcements with the nice layout, the Safemoon backdrop, things weren't spelled correctly. This, to me, from a business perspective, is the inability to pay attention to detail. Your CEO can't spell correctly, your COO, your CIO. When I started seeing more, it was more about them trying to, when there was bad news, okay, don't mind, new thing coming out, we can do it, Safemoon. They used media or they used advertisements as an attempt to divert the attention away from the product not being effective, not being a good product. And I jumped out early. I did go in at some points in time, again, after there were major sell-offs, and again, you saw the same thing from the Safemoon team. Safemoon will do it, people are gonna leave, they don't have all the same stuff everybody says. And many people who are victims of rug pulls, it's the same thing. Oh, it's fun, or don't mind. Thanks for making the coin cheaper for me, blah, blah, blah. But in practice, when it came to the coins, Safemoon, the justification that they had for The justification they had for the coins, the justification they had for the FUD, it was like your product's not really increasing. The price is going down. And when it comes to projects and some announcements you want to make about the coin, it's not really substantive to cause an improvement or to cause more people to be behind it. It seemed like Safemoon made more of an effort to do PR as opposed to their product working. I didn't pay attention to much of the news, but recently I did come into contact with the idea of the Safemoon wallet. The Safemoon wallet was supposed to be like, the rollout of the Safemoon wallet was terrible. It was garbage. That caused a major drop. Now, obviously, with many coins, there is the idea that, you want to, buy the rumor, sell the news. You want to buy the coin when it's up or when its price is going up with the news and then sell it when it's over with, because the idea is you make profit. And if something goes bad or it's not as good as you thought it was, it's going to happen. This is usually a strategy that's done. And that was expected for Safemoon, for sure. That was expected for Safemoon. But the problem with that happening for Safemoon is there was so much capital, there was so much money that was going to be sold off at such a crucial point in time. To have your product perform as bad as it did, that exacerbated the price decline. And this was a real red flag to me. A long time. This is all happened within a month. So when I saw it, that was a really big red flag to me. I didn't go into more detail about some of my major issues, like on top of the professionalism, the lack of attention to detail, outside of not being able to spell. But again, this is another thing. That's why I was going to delay it, my earlier part of the video. With that being said, when the coin came out, it seems like the people who were creating the coin or developing the exchange, they were saying something about a server not working, being DDoS. Like, conceptually, for me to know enough about computers or whatever as I do, network stuff, the idea that a site for hosting that has DDoS protection is all of a sudden unable to, a part of the issue, that was bullshit. I still don't know what the clarity, we haven't received clarification on exactly what contributed to that entire fiasco for there being a delay in the coin. But from a PR perspective, when this was realized, the team, Jack or whoever, I don't even know these people's names anymore. Just my strategy is just different. Jack, his response was terrible. You didn't pay attention to detail. You kept up notices saying the coin was up and the wallet is open, when the reality is, when things are happening, the idea isn't that you wait until it's completed. You constantly give people an update, especially when you're talking about crypto and a coin where the product is going to be released, right? For instance, let's think about a coin. Let's think about KuCoin, right? Let's say something is going on with KuCoin and the site is overloaded or something's going on, right? KuCoin, on more than one occasion, they're updating. Hey, countdown. The coin's going to be released on this coin. You can deposit and you can hold or whatever, at this time, and you'll be able to trade at this time. If there are issues with the coin and it comes up, KuCoin will send a tweet. Hey, there's a delay in this. Thanks for waiting for us. Your coins are safe. You're getting an update if there are issues. With Safemoon, it took hours to receive clear updates. They left the messages up about the coin being successful, blah, blah, blah. And even if you look at what's going on now, and on top of that message, the idea was, hey, thanks for your support, Safemoon, #Safemoon. Jack's attempt to resolve some of the issues was diverting the attention from the fact that the products or your projects or your goals weren't being met by just saying the same thing over again. Safemoon, 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 it's awesome. This is terrible. there was so much money spent on ads everywhere, where some of them, they weren't even really funded by the creators of Safemoon for advertisements. These were people just crowdfunding to advertise, and that's like extra money for Safemoon. One. Another thing that I noticed early in Safemoon, right now I'm all over the place, but now another thing that I noticed in Safemoon early was the funding that they were talking about regarding, there was some area for the coin. There was at some point in time for Safemoon for the coin where, gosh, I forgot my train of thought. There was some point, oh right. There was a marker they had on their website, like a counter, counting the funding that people were giving them for the coin. And they were like, we met our, this is when one of the first AMAs came out. I hope people watch this and see, like, when the first coin came out, or like when the first AMA started coming out, and they were talking about their goal, we reached this. If you actually look at the counter, there's no way you're able to track it now, but I guarantee if you ask more people who paid attention to Safemoon when more of the hype was going around and they started doing the AMAs, which were, I'm not even gonna comment on those. And right now, I'm just out of Safemoon. I'm willing to hear other arguments, but I'm leaving Safemoon. Like, there are other coins that are more effective that, like, they just don't have terrible leadership like this. The counter for the funding, for the money they were receiving, the team or somebody was taking money from that counter. So I feel, unless people are able to prove me wrong, and Safemoon, they won't be able to, that number kept going down when it was reaching the goal. It was like $1 million or something like that. And the price, the number kept being like, the withdrawals, it seemed, the number changes in the number, they'd be in like the tens of thousands. Like, and this wasn't for advertising. I am not sure where that money ever went. So it was obvious to me, the early phases of Safemoon, that there were people who were a part of the team that were finding ways to make a little bit of money on top of the fact that part of the wallet is closed, locked off for liquidity. None of these things matter. Like I don't care about this. What I'm concerned about is you being a leader, you having a team of surround you, you spending the money that people are giving you to actually build a product, like to make a product good, you not playing around with the money that people are giving you and actually, you know, yielding results. Now, if you look right now, I'm gonna post this video. If you look right now, the CEO is doing the same thing. This is terrible news. And instead of you, making an effort to maybe inform people a little bit more, tell them about your next steps, let them know that you guys have been terrible. Like I don't even get the genuine humility from them. It's like, sorry, okay, here, Safemoon. Like, one of the things that people stated is like, we don't, you know, people aren't concerned about your messaging or your PR. If your product is garbage, that is the most important thing. This was like I think the CEO of Binance or something made a tweet after their wallet bombed. And some people were saying it was indirect, but I just want to reiterate that message to put out the reality. If you're going to make a product, nobody cares about the PR you're putting out if the product is garbage. When there's so much volatility with these cryptos and all of these problems, the last thing that you should be doing is having these half-completed projects that people aren't really sure of what's going on, where you kind of use your quasi skill set to try and to try and persuade people that things are under control or that this is a normal thing. Like, people are tired of it. I don't know all the terminology, and I don't know enough about crypto, about like the details of the things they are saying are issues that are preventing them from doing what they want to do, but it doesn't matter. For Jack or whatever, I don't even know these people's names anymore. For one person of your executive leadership to make a statement like it is something is toxic, what is that problem? Looking at the tweets, some people are saying, oh, well, your CEO doesn't even believe in the coin. I don't know if these things are true, But for him to make a statement, somebody is lying, somebody isn't being clear, and the people who are suffering are the people who invested in the coin. And it must have something to do with them communicating with each other. If you're going to make a statement that it has nothing to do with the supporters, but you're not going to say that it has something to do with the people who you're working with, where are the people who invested in the coin left? What do you expect them to believe? I guess the end got rambly, but here's my summary. I am not sure of the direction of Safemoon. There are opportunities to make money from Safemoon after you did see major sell-offs, because percent changes in the price in these periods of time at the lowest points of some of the major sell-offs, $2 million, $2.7 million. It happened. Yeah, you could have made 100% change in your portfolio. The only people who always get burned in rug pulls, I'm not saying that it is, and I'm not sure. I'm just not putting, none of my money is in Safemoon anymore. I'm just saying that, I'm not saying that it's a rug pull, but the lack of information and the amount of subpar performance with hyperbolized hype, if that even makes sense, if that's not tautological, this combination, it just seems very unprofessional to me. It seems like, again, there are too many people who think they're jacks of all trades, and I think that jack of all trades attempt was for them to keep more money so they don't actually spend money on people who actually do have a good product, who are actually equipped in their skill set. And some of these things that I even see, like you did see, like, oh, this is a community member. Like, that's why, like, he is in that role. Like, you're not even being professional. Like, you didn't even make an effort to actually get a team that may even be as well versed in what they're saying as they are. Like, what about the people who made the coin, who programmed it? Was it that some random kid who have like some coding experience, like for a little bit? Like there is no clear messaging here, and I would advise that people do a little bit more research before they go into Safemoon. If you look at the history of Safemoon and their CEO and their leadership, they do the same thing over and over and over again. It's okay, Safemoon, when there's bad news. This is not what you do. You make an effort, you show contrition, you engage in actions that are indicative of you actually caring. And, getting more advertisements when the coin's going down, having projects that aren't performing as well as they should, that you hype people up to be, doing all of these things, that's not showing contrition. It seems like you're just like a person who goes to church and says you're sorry, but you do the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not religious, but I'm just using that analogy. You wouldn't make it into heaven that way. You would have to show contrition. It's not you saying sorry, it's your actions after you saying you're sorry. If you're saying sorry and then you're constantly messing up after you say you're sorry, then you're not really sorry, because your actions would be really indicative of that. Like, comment, subscribe, share this if you need to. Be careful at Safemoon. That is a message that I can say. Be very careful of Safemoon. It doesn't make sense that leadership isn't clear, and you're taking a lot of people who have money, who have way more, whose discretionary income is which their investments in Safemoon account for a larger percentage of their discretionary income than mine, and you're literally destroying lives. I think people need to hold them accountable. Be careful who you advise to do coins. Be careful. Learn a little bit more about rug pulls. Will I say that Safemoon is a rug pull? I don't know. I really don't care. But it's not worth the time or the money.